Alleged Underworld boss Mark Lifman was gunned down on Sunday in the parking lot of Garden Route Mall in George. He was out on bail and scheduled to appear in the Western Cape High Court, in fact, this week, on charges of killing Brian Weinstein, known as Steroid King. According to News 24, Liffman had previously worked with the two hitmen that allegedly killed him. Johan Hendrik Jacobs and Gert Bezuidenhout are now facing charges of murder. They made their first appearance in court yesterday. To help us understand who Mark Lifman really was, Hawk Associates CEO Bradley Steyn joins us this afternoon. Bradley, it's great to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed for your time. And I'm sure you've seen the CCTV footage of just how Mark Lifman was gunned down. He can be seen walking to his vehicle in the parking lot of the shopping centre, and then he falls to the ground and this white vehicle drives away. Who was he?
Well, my history goes back many, many years with Mark Lifman. I haven't seen him in recent years, but many years ago I knew him as a taxi operator that had Liffy's taxis out of Sea Point. And, he had taxis running in and out of from town and onto the Cape Flats. Who is he? Mark was a pretty astute businessman, very sharp, and not a family guy. He's got family members, but he wasn't really a family guy. But like I said, I think I spoke to him probably about a year ago, but on the telephone. But no matter what, nobody deserves to die like that, being gunned down.
Yeah. When we talk about protection services, and obviously his name has come up in the discussion around protection services and paying protection money, businesses paying protection money in Cape Town. But that's a loaded sort of term, isn't it, Bradley? That issue of protection services. When it comes to Mark Lifman and protection services, what did that really entail?
Well, it's this racket of extorting business people and private citizens that might have wealth, is a playbook that is started off in the early 90s, I would say, when Cyril Beaker was around. Ourselves, Project Group, we had a company called Project Group. I write about this stuff extensively in our book, Undercover with Mandela's Spies. But what the racket actually entails is going into a business organization, taking over the security contract, and by using intimidation and threats. And it's crazy that 20 years later, I moved back to South Africa and I see exactly the same thing. I spoke to friends that have businesses in Camps Bay, for instance, and I say to them, why are you using this specific security company? Because I know the background. And they just turn around and say, because it's less complicated and it gets dealt with. So, the biggest problem is that normal citizens trying to run businesses, trying to create job opportunities for many of our citizens are being harassed by brackets. And unfortunately, criminals are now hiding behind these security companies as a facade.
Yeah, there are concerns now because, as we know, Mark Lifman was meant to appear in court this week on murder charges in connection with the murder of Brian Weinstein, who was known as the Steroid King. Do you think that there's any merit to reports that, given Mark Lifman's assassination now, that the legal teams involved in the Brian Weinstein matter might also be at risk?
Well, you never know, because it's how long is a piece of string again? And this piece of string happens to be in a big mess at the moment, because there have been a lot of shifts in the underground world in the last few weeks But, you know, the blatant killing and assassination of Mark Lifman just shows that, you know, there's no really care and forethought for the public. And, you know, this needs to be tackled.
Absolutely, and as a matter of urgency, Bradley Steyn, let me thank you for your time this afternoon. Bradley Steyn is a Hawk Associates CEO. He's giving us some analysis there on alleged Underworld boss Mark Lifman.